welcome to One Art Space in Tribeca, New York. And we're welcoming you to the Hei Myung Hyun solo exhibition, Sing Again Like Never Before. One Art Space is honored to have Hei Myung Hyun to showcase and open her exhibition on May 1st for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. My name is Sarah Park, and I'll be your moderator, and I'm so excited to be facilitating this meet and greet with the artist. So we'll welcome Ms. Hei Myung Hyun. So to open up our conversation, why don't you tell us a little bit about your work in this exhibition today?
This exhibition is covering like 30 years of work. And then I did a retrospective show in 2017, and it doesn't cover that long period. And then this time, Grace G, curator of the show, came out to my home and then saw all my work. And then she selected this work, and then she liked those colorful ones that I did in 1992. So it goes like 30 years. And then this show, after I viewing this show, I wasn't sure if how it's gonna work, and then connecting one to other work, because other shows I selected to show, but I more recent and then that, but this is like another retrospective show. And then when I see it, I'm pleased that it sort of connects to one another, and then connects my different time of my life. So 30 years just went like very fast. Mm-hmm. And then I am 78 years old, and then still my mind, I don't think it got really old. Just keep going forward. So this experience is great for me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to hear. So I think what I got from that was that this is one of your first exhibits where you're showcasing your art pieces from so many different, I guess, eras of your artistic career. I've noticed, I think most of them were drawn in the last 10, 15 years or so, but you also mentioned there are pieces from the early 1990s that really go back, almost 30 years. So it's great to see. I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to also see your different styles depicted in your pieces in one place today. So, all right. And going on to the next question, I wanted to ask you, 2020 overall has been an impactful year for everyone, and for all of us, too much has been learned as well as lost. So for you, how impactful was 2020 and your process with, how you're doing your work?
Yes, I was really depressed. Some of my people that I know closely got sick and passed away. And it's just like you live in the fear, and then at the beginning I couldn't paint or anything. It was just more kind of dark, going through the dark tunnel, and then you don't see the end when it's gonna come out. We are gonna come out. But after the spring comes, and then I have my backyard small, but I keep my fresh flowers, and then I think it just, when I started to paint, I was so happy that I could still paint. So every day, it's just a blessing. So it kept me going. And then Grace, I think, what month was it you came out? March?
End of March.
Yeah. She came out in March, I didn't believe it's gonna happen, and then she just doesn't take the no. She just went forward and forward. So when she came out, I think I see I might go to New York, and then still half in doubt. But thank you, Grace, coming, let me come out, and some of my work never seen outside. It was in the closet, in the shed, and then I just give me chance to look back, and then I did that painting, and then this is the result of I see everything out, and then I'm so happy, and then to share. So the end of the tunnel is really bright and good future.
Yeah, I think definitely agree. You know, everyone says April showers bring May flowers. I think last year everyone was going through some dark times, and I think it was great that you were able to find some comfort and solace, and being able to still continue with your work amongst all the things that are happening outside, good and the bad things around us. And I think it's really impactful to hear from someone who's had so much experience. You've gone through a lot in your career. That even times like this that we've gone through last year, and that it's still continuing, that there really is a bright end at the end of the tunnel. So I really take that to heart.
Yes, there's an end of the tunnel for everybody. Yeah.
All right. So the next question I have for you, and for any of you that don't necessarily know of Hei Myung's background, she was born and raised in Korea. She started her art education in Seoul, and then she completed it in the United States, going to school in Pennsylvania and other places. So for her art style coming from being uprooted from her homeland and then being replanted here on foreign soil, for her. It wasn't really something that was a total loss or a gain in either way. So wanted to ask you, in your span of almost 60 years of artist work trajectory, was there a point when you noticed that there was a shift or pivoting in the acceptance of your body of works that consists of a blend of Eastern and Western influence?
Well, first of all, I wanted to become a Western painter, like a European abstract modernism. But I realized then my background, I can't get away. And then also the teachers, critic at the school encouraged me to don't paint like us. Just find what's in you. Do your own painting. And then it was the right thing. I cannot really try to follow a stream, what's fashionable or trend. But I think always I try to find what's in me or how I can be. I mean, God made everyone different, and then I must have something that unique. I wanted to make good artwork, and then I want to be remembered later that she did fine. I know, unique. So that's the goal. Still, yeah, there must be something that I'm different and I'm good, and then just pursue. That's the answer.
So then, for your, the way you practice art, have you experienced some change in the way that you're, doing your work and in your, artistic style, or the way, the subject of your paintings, anything like that? 60 years is it's an impressive long career for you. So yeah, the question is, has your practice really changed over the last 60 years, and what are your inspirations of your pieces lately?
I think the nature has been always the source. And just the nature around me, season, all the blossom, everything. And the style, I just shift sometimes. And then if I do one thing, I get bored, and then I just look around. And then there's always that I save in my memory or in the box, something maybe I could use this for later to use. And then sometimes it comes out, and then sometimes it influences me, but I just jump around. Sometimes in one show, this in the different style, 2 of them come out. And then sometimes I admire in a way that somebody is really consistent in doing one kind of work. But I'm different. Just I have to be kind of always feel free and then start fresh looking. So I have to be very excited, get excited about it, to getting into new painting, new day. So still looking for, and then different materials sometimes I use, and then it gives me another joy to find a way, let it go. My English is not very good.
So it's finding different sources of inspiration in your life, whether you're traveling or just from I think you've mentioned nature and cherry blossoms, things like that are a main source. I think in our conversation before we started this meet and greet, you mentioned, I asked you a question about your pieces around the ancestral gardens and the meaning of some of the paintings have a girl painted in the middle, and she's watering some of the flowers in the garden. Yeah. Could you share with us what inspired that?
The image comes out, I got when I toured in Spain, it was a mosaic piece. There was a mosaic piece outside one of the restaurants that I went. And then mosaic, and then the image was so pretty. And then I see myself in it. So I kind of put that image, and then it comes out, and then the piece is like a garden in me. So there are a few other pieces that I did something like that. So it sort of goes from there to different series. So one series sort of connects to another one, but I don't really plan exactly how it's gonna go. Just it's a more natural step way it shows.
So your pieces kind of flow. Okay. Well, I hope that your visit in New York, there's pieces of New York that, I hope end up in one of your inspiration boxes that you keep for yourself. And
yeah. Whenever I come and visit, New York was such an exciting place. And then just walk this area a lot before, but now I have knee problem and then just very slow walking, but it's beautiful. And then after the 9/11, and I see the new structures, new change in the city, and that's also leads to another future. And then I'm really grateful I see and meet a lot of different people, and thank you for everyone interested. But I think my work is based on the nature, and then I think it's pleasing and beautiful. I think art should be beautiful and comfort to the life of other people.
Yeah, so another question that I have for you is, as you mentioned, nature is one of the big inspirations of your artwork. Is there a particular place that you get a lot of your inspirations from?
In where I live, there's a descanso garden that's about 10 minutes. And then it's very nice garden, and then I go there a lot. I think like 30 years. And then the trees and in different seasons and flowers, I always get inspired. There are a lot of them in the painting, and then.
Yeah, it's the nature's always there, but it's the weather, the temperature of the day, how strong or soft the wind is, that really makes the scenery slightly different each day. So I think even, if you've been going to the same location, for a long time, each time you visit, it's going to be slightly different. And I think that's where you're saying some of your inspiration comes from, is even in the essence of what it is the same, but the way it's portrayed and what the way it looks like is different depending on when you head over there. So, all right. So I think in terms of the questions that we prepared, I have one more question for you, and then we'll open it up for questions from the floor. So is there, I know it's probably a really hard question for you, but is there an artwork here that you're most proud of?
I think that series of work, I will keep doing. And then I did like, it started from in Korea, Jeju Island. And then one time I worked in one of the studios in the island, and then I took a lot of photographs. So at the time we studied the landscape around there, but now it just goes more outside Korea, and then everywhere I go and everything I see, I call it like a Hado series work, and then it just go on. Those pieces always with the grid, it's very exciting to look at, and then in the morning if you drink coffee, and then those it's covered with the glass beads, and then it just shines with the light. So it just gives me joy to look at, and happiness gives me happiness to look. So that I think I will work on, just keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. I think also it's favor with a lot of art, people.
Yeah, I think it's what you said art should be, that art should be beautiful and it should bring joy and happiness.
Yeah. And then still, I will never get tired, and then physically now I can lift the heavy thing and then big canvas, but I can do those forever. So, and then it can grow where the space allows, long this way, long that way. It's very flexible, and
the way it can be structured, and it can expand sideways. You can have it tall.
Yes.
All right. So we'll open it up for questions from the floor. If you'd like to, ask your question in Korean, we can take questions in Korean, and I can help translate for that. So the floor is yours. 혹시 질문하실 거 있으면 한국어로 질문하셔도 되거든요. 제가 통역을 해서 전달하겠습니다.
So always, one question comes and then follows, so I will dare question short one. I agree that I myself, I'm not doing art as meditation, not, intending selling. But some of these, you are so special connection you don't want to sell, you wishing not to be sold. You have any items here?
I wouldn't help because you want to buy it.
And one artist said that, well, however, each artist has a special connection in each piece, but no, he said once no.
Actually, there is one that with red dots, and then that was hanging in my studio, and then she wanted to put it into the show. I said no, and then okay, we can do it, and then whoever bought, she said. When I told her, I think that's when she decided to get that. So, no, I think it's all my kids. So, different, but I'm attached to it. Yeah.
Any other questions?
There's a tree and dog and square. Oh, is there any reason? Sorry.
So I think her question was, in some of your pieces, there's grids. So I think we see in pieces here, all around us, we see a pattern of grids. Sometimes there's colored dots and circles. Do those have significant meanings? The reason they kind of repeat in some of your series?
I don't think there is any meaning to it, but I think some of the work needs structure and then kind of frame for me to, that's like putting the period, finishing statement, yeah. But since I was a little kid, I really liked the polka dots, the lines. I like the basic, minimal abstract lines. I think it sort of adds to the painting some strength. Yeah. Even though it's a free, but I think sometimes line that's sort of giving me the touch of finishing it.
So I think in your kind of more free-form pieces,
yeah,
the structure, the grids, and the repeating of some of the patterns, like I think you mentioned, like polka dots, or these sort of colored circle patterns, they are bringing kind of the finishing touch to your pieces.
And then sometimes I think it gives me the feeling of distance and then time. Sort of, sometimes in drama they put the time shift, right? These days I see a lot of that. But I think putting my, this time present, and then in the painting, it doesn't make sense. But I think sometimes I feel that.
So you're saying the grids and the way, I guess, when we think about it, when we portray time in a scientific or way, it's posed on a graph and like a grid. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
It's confusing. No, we can forget about what I said.
Great. Any other questions we have from the floor? Yes.
I also, we at One Art Space, when Grace brought us, her artwork to review, and one of the things before we even knew who she was, we just looked at her art, and one of the things that we realized was like how refreshing it is, especially after 2020, when all of us who lived in the East Coast that did not have a garden and did not have the outdoor space, that how resonant to have colorful nature, and she has such a vast body of work where if you live in an apartment in New York City and had modern furniture, the nature of her contribution towards the composing of the still for she has like some of the branches, and then later I read that she created those effects by using coffee stain, and it really, I mean, the way she depicts and the genius that she arrives to transforming nature onto the canvas is what really impressed us. And then when we found out that she was 78, we realized this was not just a body of work that she created within a year. That even though she says she does not create art based on popularity or trends or what's popular, 2020 and 2021 has been a blowout of dots. And when I saw that, I'm like, it's not Damien, first that came up with this. We have a 70-year woman who has been on the forefront of this way before what was trendy. So I think it was really important for us to bring her collection to the East Coast. And I was amazed when I read a little more about her, that she actually started in the East Coast by going to college here to study art in Connecticut. So that's why, the more we read about her and saw her collection, we said that it was something that was not just had to be kept in the West Coast. This was a treasure that had to be shared with the East Coast. So we really am very pleased to be able to share this with you. And I hope you guys get to really enjoy it. And there's nothing more pleasant than to stand in front of something as beautiful and actually engaging in front of you. I mean, nowadays we have virtual, but every piece of her work, wherever you shift your glasses, there's another conversation that comes out of it. And I hope that you guys will discover that from this.
Yay! Thank you, May. You should have.
No, I mean, this, I'm glad that, people are able to, I could get lost in each one of the canvases. And, and if I had in my home, everyone coming in, there would be a story that I would project out of it and have my own album. And then you would have an album, but it would be just a conversation.
I think all gallery people, they are so loving and great. And I'm so blessed to meet all these wonderful people. Thank you.
All right, do we have any more questions for the artist? Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up then. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hei Myung, for being here for us.